My lead generation company, Agent Lead Lab, has made over $540,000 last month. And today I want to break down briefly what are some of the top lessons and why I think building a team is one of the most instrumental keys to success in any business, but specifically as a life insurance agency owner as well. My name is Trey. I'm the owner of Agent Lead Lab. In the past 3.5 years, we've helped 550 agents issue pay $40,000 per month. And on this video channel, all I do is try to break down the strategies, tactics, and behaviors that help them scale and grow their business. So as always, please make sure that you like, comment, subscribe. Let's hop right into the video. So today I want to talk about something briefly that was very important to me. So last month, right, we hit our best month. We hit $540,000 in cash collected. And I really want to talk about like what I learned. All right. And this may be a series, but I'm going to kind of keep it high level for today. And the number one thing I learned is that having the right team makes all the difference. Okay. So let me break like for me. Right. So if you're an agency owner, all right, we're talking about life insurance. There's a few key components that, are really important. So conceptually, here's what you need to understand. Taking 5 to a 7 is harder than just going out and getting a 7. Taking a 7 to a 10 is harder than just going out and getting a 10. Now, what does that mean? That means, let's say you have somebody who's like a 5 level talent, right? And you're trying to make them into a 7. That's going to be like really hard. And then you're going to take somebody that's a 7 and get them to a 10. That's also going to be like really hard. But you'd rather just go out and get a 10 or go out and get a 9, right? Like, meaning go out and acquire the best talent. Now, I'm only saying this because for 3 months, I have been able to see side by side the difference between like me doing work, me having somebody who was like a 5 to 7 talent, or if you want to call them like a D or C talent person, and then a B talent person / A talent person, or an A talent individual, right? So for me, I have a sales team, right? Now, previously in years, I hired a sales team. Back in 2024, I tried to hire a sales team, build a sales team out. I had a bunch of 5s and 6s. That's it. I had no 7s, no 8s, and definitely no 9s or 10s, right? And I was very nervous to hire more sales reps. Number one, I didn't know how I was going to pay them. Number two, I didn't really know how we were going to have any fulfillment. I didn't have the lead flow. So back in December, I ended up building my team and I had 2 individuals approach me and were like, I just basically want to work for you. And I'm like, dude, I don't have work. They're like, well, I'm going to work for you. I'm like, all right, you really believe in what we're doing and you do want to come work here. So like, I can't stop you. And I want people that are driven. So let's do it. And the first thing that came to my mind was like, how am I going to feed these individuals? What am I going to give them, etc. And I watched them work these old leads so well that they were honestly able to convert them in a way that I was kind of like shocked at. Meaning, had I given that old team back in 2024 where I had 5, 6s, and like really nobody even close to a 7 furrow, they were struggling with fresh leads, meaning brand new leads. They were struggling. They couldn't close. They couldn't book the appointments. It was a headache, right? And then now I have, 8, 9 level talent, and it's like night and day for me. Okay, so that's sales. Now, if you think about it as an agent, what does that mean? All right, so you can go out and recruit everybody in the world. Yes. And yes, you do just need to be able to call and dial the phones. And I'm not saying that you just because somebody's not a 5, or sorry, not an 8 or 9, that they just are all as bad. You can take 5s and take them to a 10. It's going to take you a lot longer and it's a lot harder. I'm not saying it's impossible. It's just a lot more effort. But if you go out and find people that are already somewhat skilled, and then you teach them or talented, relatively speaking, and you teach them the skills that they need, meaning it's life insurance, you're going to be drastically better. So let's use an example. All right? Here's what I've seen. All right. So door to door reps. Okay. Solar, which is essentially another version. Solar reps, door to door. Service based business. Okay. People underestimate this, but like waiters, bartenders, they also do well in the life insurance space. And I'm going to explain why. Okay. These are people that already have the skills. They understand the aspect of communication, how to get the client exactly what they need. They understand that they make more money based off the initial value that they can provide. Right. And they've been in the trenches of the day-to-day world. Right. So you talk about those people are typically going to be your 7s, your 8s, your 9s. Right. And you're going to have a much better initial prospect than you're going to get, are moms. Now, nothing wrong with you going to get your mom or your grandma or somebody has, but like those individuals, they have a different type of mindset. Now, here's another category that does work: construction, slash blue collar. Okay, they're used to hard work breeds results. Hard work breeds results. If I do go harder, so in their mind, they already have like the wiring in their mind in the frame to be successful. That's a given. That's how they operate. That's how they think. That's what's been working for them. So like it's not really going to change. Now, the benefit for you is if you're recruiting and building an agency, a life insurance agency, I would start with going to find these people. Now, you can obviously do your friends and your family. All right, another one, athletes. Not forgetting they're popping up, right? So you're finding talent, and now you're just inserting that talent to the right opportunity. You find the right talent, you put them in the right opportunity, you're good to go. Right talent, right opportunity, good to go. Now, the alternative is you go find people that are not used to like dealing with any sort of confrontation, dealing with any sort of like loss, getting their teeth kicked in. Like they don't know what it's like to do that. They're probably not going to do well. Okay. Not only should it be these previous jobs, but it can be life circumstances, right? They grew up, they didn't have a lot of money. Like there are a lot of things psychologically that you can help yourself out with to know the type of person before you bring them in. This is all about what I learned about vetting and having the right team, having the right talent, understanding and knowing that talent is really the first prerequisite. Then it's the skill that you teach the talent to make them better. Some people bring in a lot of talent and have no sort of system to make that person better. Other people bring in relatively not the greatest talent. You bring in the best talent to the best system and beat everybody, right? Obviously, that's not how it works all the time. But what I've realized from being an athlete is the way I move my business and my thought process about scaling. And one of the things that I personally believe the reason that I've been able to grow. So I went out and just found better talent. And sometimes, like, I'm starting to realize I got to treat this thing like a football team. Like when I played football and in the NFL and in the NBA and all professional world, like it's cutthroat. Like, dude, yeah, we rocking with you. But at the end of the day, like you got to get the job done. They're always recruiting. They're always drafting. They're always trying to find the next best thing. So there needs to be a standard that's set, and you need to constantly bring in new talent to challenge the previous talent. So everybody should be leveling up. Nobody should be stagnant. Everybody should be trying to get better. So you have to create a culture. So I'm now realizing, I'm like, we just passed 500, and I don't even feel like the culture is really there yet. So I'm like, now I need to create a culture that actually elicits the response that I want, which is everybody in the company needs to grow, point blank, period. So every single person is going to be challenged. I don't care what you do. I don't care where you're at. I don't care what's going on. If you're not bringing your best to the table, you got to go. That is the new standard. You, as an agent or an agency owner, need to have that standard for yourself too. And if you don't, then you're not going to be able to grow. And that's all I want to touch on today. I'm not spending a lot of time because at a high level, that's how you grow. You start with yourself. You have a standard for yourself and you hit it every day. Now, when you try to grow and build a team, your team has to meet that standard. Your team has to continue to rise to the top and grow. So if they don't, it doesn't matter. So at the end of the day, that is the way that things need to be. So I'm now moving my company in that direction, but you should too. If you're an agent, if you're trying to grow, you should have a standard. Yo, when we come in, this is what we do. This is when we clock in. This is how it works. This is our standard. This is what's going to go on. If you don't make it, you got to go. Because I'm realizing that there's so much talent out there. My mind has been so entrapped to like, oh, this is all this. It's like, bro, there are people out there that are way more talented. And it made me think about like when you play high school football, you only know the people that are in your area. But scouts for Division I scout the entire United States. They have 50 states, all these schools to choose from. What makes them think that you deserve to go to school for free? There's 130 something colleges that are Division I. Out of all those 130 something, each team has like I think 70 roster spots, 80 roster spots that they can give scholarships to. So 80 times 135, there's like a little over. I don't know what that is. Let's do some quick math. Let's just call it 85 times 135. So it's 11,475 Division I offers. Now, how many of those are freshmen? So let's say that team, let's say 25 of those are freshmen. So there's 3,337 new Division I offers that can go out. I'm just making this up, right? I could figure this out if I actually looked it up. But you guys get the initial thought process I'm getting at. That's just for football. You got different sports. Not all teams are as big. So you just start doing the math. You figure out, you're like, yo, at the end of the day, that means that you got to figure out in this big pool of all these high school players what's going to make you different. So they scout day in and day out. You got to go find the best talent at all times. Make sure this joint's hidden. So your team, if you're a sales team, you got to do the same thing. You got to be like, yo, this was I'm going to find the best talent to build my life insurance agency. Point blank, period. I got to go find the best talents to build my lead vending company, lead marketing company, whatever you want to call it, right? That's got to be the standard. That's how you grow. It doesn't matter. Like at the end of the day, that's how you grow. So I want to hop on here and explain that. So as always, make sure that you like, comment, subscribe. We're moving with sense of urgency in May. The goal for me is to hit 1 million a month, right? I don't know what your goal is. If you're watching this and you watch my channel, it's probably 40, 50, 60K months or scaling your agency to $1 million, right? So I'm just letting y'all know where I'm at. I'm not on this YouTube channel to try to preach to y'all all this fancy, cool, like that's not me. So if you're watching this, I don't get a whole lot of views, and that's fine. I treat this as kind of like my podcast. I like getting on here and talking about what I want to talk about. If y'all don't want to listen, that's cool too. I got interviews. I'm just posting at the end of the day. I will optimize this later. I will commit to the actions first, which is post every day, and I will figure out how to optimize this later as I go on. I get more money. I got more staff. I could do more things. So I will talk to you all in the next video. As always, please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.